Hi, and welcome back to the Self-Actualization in the Age of Crisis Chapter Summary Series. I'm your host, Ron Rivers, and today we'll be discussing Chapter 4, SpiritDAO. So in this text and throughout these journeys, I've kind of bared it all and kind of shared with you guys this grand vision for kind of spiritual reformation, right? A spiritual renaissance rooted in nature. I think, and I like to think that I've said things that have never been said before in an effort to really inspire your imagination of the possible. Now, I also want to emphasize that this is not, for me, an individual book that I'm putting out and just kind of leaving it there. SpiritDAO is our tokenized membership community to support the philosophy and practice of people who are embracing the single truth and relational universe. It's a decentralized organization where every member is a stakeholder. And if you're not already aware, sales of the physical book support our community wallet. SpiritDAO exists to serve three core purposes. The first is to spread the message of the single truth and relational universe. So much of our efforts will be about sharing content, creating memes, creating virality, doing events, anything to get into the public's eye about this alternative spiritual renaissance that we are proposing. The second is to provide physical and virtual utility for our members, so provide value for being a member of our community. And the third is to support other DAOs working to support the 8 dignities. Now below you'll find a bunch of links in the description to a wide variety of SpiritDAO resources. You should be aware that our community is live and active in the immediate present. When I first sent the book to our first editor, I began the work on SpiritDAO. So as of the making of this video, the book's only been out for about 15 weeks. It's been a soft launch, but SpiritDAO is essentially I've been working in public, and now we're kind of beginning the phase where we're going to start actually formalizing the membership process and beginning a more proactive process of kind of spreading the message. We have some really exciting and big plans for the future, all of which you can check out below. They include events, physical community spaces, and a wide variety of virtual utility as well, software and things like that, a built-in reputation and credentialing system. Just a lot of exciting things on the horizon. But I do want to emphasize, I mentioned in the very beginning, the first chapter, I have put a lot of effort into developing this alternative, but it is ultimately incomplete. Your input is missing from it. Our spiritual renaissance is not, and I do not make any claim of being, anything beyond an individual fractional observer. I've had psychedelic visions that I share in the text, and some I haven't, that have certainly led me to this path, while at the same time I fully embrace that it is incomplete. If we are to avoid the age of crisis together, we must act. I mentioned in the last chapter summary, it creates a sense of restlessness. We must organize and act in a fashion that has not been done before. And I strongly believe that the root problem of humanity is our available frameworks of meaning and value. And up until this immediate present, we have lacked an alternative. Self-actualization in the age of crisis has been an attempt at an alternative. And I do hope in my most sincere genuineness that you will join me, at least in exploring it deeper with our community, connect with us, learn more, and consider sharing it with your friends and loved ones. The book does detail some of the frameworks of the DAO, but I have to be candid, it's evolved so much since I wrote the book that many of the concepts there are almost outmoded for where we are in our immediate present. Ultimately, I want to emphasize, the text is intended to be a public work owned by the SpiritDAO community. It should evolve over time. And over time, my ultimate objective is to disassociate myself with it. Not from contributing, but just not at all to be a figurehead for the organization. This is something that belongs to all of us, should we choose to embrace it. If you've listened to everything I've said and you passively believe, that's great. And it's better than not believing and not embracing. But we need more than passivity if we're going to overcome the age of crisis. To that end, I hope you've received this as I've intended it, as an act of deep love and admiration for humanity, a vision of becoming more that we can share towards a pluralist and collective future that primarily builds us a foundation to build upon. Again, I emphasize, the single truth requires no believers. It is simply the nature of the universe. And with that said, it provides us an entirely new framework of contextualizing the nature of being and how we organize ourselves around it. It is the archaic revival, the return to nature that we have so longed for since beginning this trajectory towards the industrialization of our species and the development of exponential knowledge growth. So again, I'll emphasize, change is the single truth. It requires no believers, but I do hope you will join me and others in spreading the message throughout the universe.